Welcome, guys. It is Brad, the College SportsCast. We're here to do a special Wildcat Weekly. It is March Madness time.
Thank you for tuning in to College SportsCast. College SportsCast presents Wildcat Weekly.
Welcome in, guys. It is the greatest time of the year if you're a college sports fan. At least it is in the state of Kentucky. What's up, Hammonds?
What's up, my guy?
Are you ready for March Madness?
I definitely am. I'm ready for the games to get going tomorrow.
It's going to be a big few weeks here for us, for all of the college basketball fans across the country. So we've got a lot to get to tonight. We are going to dig in pretty quickly. Before I do, just want to mention at the top of the screen, if you are joining us, just want to say that's a QR code for a home field apparel. Go check them out. There is a lot. They have some new denim Kentucky stuff, 1996 vintage stuff there that is really cool. That's denim from home field apparel. Use our code CSCast. Want to get that in because it's some really cool stuff. And then quickly subscribe, man. It's only 99 cents a month. We have a subscribers page for you. We have a chat for you, and we're in there all the time trying to give you guys a little bit of insight and just having a little bit of talk with us. Yeah. So subscribe. It's only 99 cents.
You like to post too much nonsense, what you do.
I mean, we do have a little fun in there sometimes.
Every now and then, yeah.
Yeah, we have a little bit of fun in there most of the time. Yeah. All right, guys, we have a lot to get to, so we're going to kick this off and kind of get started with stuff here tonight right off the top. I mean, John, March Madness is beginning here, and Kentucky lands a 7 seed in St. Louis. I did not put that on there, but it's in St. Louis, and Kentucky lands a 7 seed versus number 10, Santa Clara.
I mean, the seeding is about as good as you're going to get, Brad. I mean, at this point, they lost a few games early in the year that they should have won. The Auburn game. They had the Georgia game. If they had won a couple of those, I think, they're looking at probably a 5 or maybe even a 6. Otega always playing at a really good level right now. Denzel Aberdeen's playing good. Now, down the stretch, they kind of had off and on games, had the Florida losses. They haven't looked focused since Tennessee. They just don't look like the team that we saw when they beat Vanderbilt, Tennessee, Arkansas. And their offensive efficiency's not been really good. Now they do have wins over St. John's, Tennessee twice, Arkansas, and Vanderbilt, which is really good. But you're going up against a team like Santa Clara, which is a really good basketball team, Brad. And a lot of people are kind of not paying attention to this Santa Clara team, and they're really, really good.
They are. I do want to talk a little bit about Santa Clara here, guys. What's up, Ray? Appreciate you being here, man. John, I'm gonna throw a name out at you that's kind of a Kentucky throwback here. Herb Sendek.
Yeah.
Does any Kentucky fan remember Herb Sendek?
Former Kentucky assistant. I think he started his career at Mineville, Ohio. He's taken, I think, 4 teams to the NCAA tournament. And to me, this might be the best that he's had.
This is Santa Clara's first NCAA appearance since 1996 with a guy by the name of John. Do you know who played there? No, Santa Clara.
Player Steve Nash.
There you go, Steve Nash, 1996.
He was on the roster.
Is their first appearance. Huh?
I said he was on the roster then. That was, 30 years ago?
Yeah.
That's impressive, Brad. They've had a really good year. They're led by Allen Graves. I think he's one of the most versatile players in college basketball. I think he shoots over 60% of his shots around the rim. He's 41% on his threes. To me, he was a big X factor in the WCC tournament. They got a really good offense. They run a lot of fast-paced three-point shooting. Like they run a little bit of what Florida runs, stuff that gives Kentucky a little bit of problems. They beat St. Mary's twice. They lost to Gonzaga, but they competed with Gonzaga. This is not a team that you kind of take lightly in this tournament. It could be a team that, if you don't come to play, you're probably going home.
So there's two things I want to bring up real quick. I'll let you kind of talk about each one of them here. But they have 5 players that can really shoot the ball, shoot three-pointers. They average over 10 makes a game. They shoot about 30 a game as a team. And then they are one of the top 25 offensive rebounding teams in the country. John, that's some areas that Kentucky kind of struggles in. So what's your thoughts on those?
They're going to have to hit shots. They're going to have to play really good three-point defense. Chandler's going to have to be hitting shots. Aberdeen's going to have to play his game. Otega's going to have to play his.
Got to rebound because this team is one of the better offensive rebounding teams.
And I forgot to mention, they got another player that's really good too, Christian Hammond. He's really good for them. He's their all-do-it guard. He does it all for them. This is a team that you just, like I said, you don't take lightly. You just kind of prepare for this game and you do what you have to do to win. And then if you win that one, you got a shot at Iowa State, which is, I feel like, is the best 2 seed that we could have gotten. And I know that you don't like it because of the matchups with defense, but I feel like from a overall standpoint, I feel like Iowa State is probably the best seed that we could have got as the 2.
I mean, Ray, they average nearly 13 offensive rebounds a game. It's a top 25, I believe, in the country. This is a very good offensive rebounding team. So that is an area that Kentucky's going to have to play well in Friday afternoon. This is an afternoon game. And then, like I said, they make three-pointers, and they have at least 5 guys that can knock them down on this team. So
this is a good team.
John, one more thing before we move off of Santa Clara. This team played Gonzaga 3 times. They lost all 3, but they lost by a combined 31 points in 3 games.
Brad, I've watched this team. How I watch a little bit more college ball than you do because you're always traveling and I'm always watching. They're a poor man's Florida, less talented. What I'm saying, they play like Florida, but they're less talented as Florida. You get what I'm saying? They play like the Gators. The 3-point shooting, the boards. Is it a game that we could lose? Yes. Is it a game that we can win? Yes. But you're going to have to bring your A game. You can't get behind the 8 ball in a tournament like this because I've watched these tournament games. When the underdog is hitting shots, the crowd tends to go towards the underdog. And you don't want that to happen in a setting, and you don't want to lose this game, the first game, because you go into next year with a loss on that, round of 64, there's going to be a lot of pressure built up in the offseason that you lost in the round of 64. You didn't have a great year. You had a lot of injuries. There's going to be a lot of pressure building for that offseason.
One last thing before I move on to the next topic, because we're going to move kind of quick here tonight. But Herb Sendek, I want to give you a shout out, man. If you guys don't know, if you're not old enough and you don't know, Herb Sendek came with Rick Pitino on his staff in 1989. He was with Pitino the first 4 years. So he was on the 93 team that made the Final Four with MASH. He was an assistant at Kentucky for 4 years with Pitino. He went on to coach at NC State, at Arizona State, now Santa Clara. The one thing I want to give him a shout out for, Herb Sendek has over 600 career wins as a head coach.
It's quite a bit.
I mean, that's quite a bit. So just want to give him a shout out. Kentucky did finish 2-1 in the SEC tournament. I want to do just a little bit of backpedaling here, but I wanted to bring up March Madness first. Kentucky's 21-13 heading in and landed that 7 seed. Do you feel like that was a fair seed?
Yeah, really, it was. I mean, there's been a few complaining about it, but it is what it is, Brad. You can't lose to Auburn on the road in a game that you basically had in your back pocket. You had Georgia up 10 points, 9 points, and should have won that one. Texas A&M was another one. You win that game, you're probably not talking about a 7 seed. You're probably looking at a 6. There was just so many what ifs this season that could have shifted the narrative. But you are what you are, and that's what we are.
All right. So real quick, just touch on the other game in St. Louis on Friday. Is Iowa State is the 2 seed. McNeese State, I didn't put that on there, but they're the 15 seed. McNeese State is.
McNeese State ain't who Iowa State plays.
Is not?
They play Vanderbilt.
What?
Yeah, they play Vanderbilt, Brad.
Iowa State don't play Vanderbilt.
Yes,
Vanderbilt.
they do.
John, Vanderbilt got it like a 5 seed.
McNeese State plays Vandy.
Oh, well, who does Iowa State play then?
I can't.
I thought I saw where it said McNeese State.
No, it ain't McNeese State. It's let me see here. Tennessee State.
Okay.
They play Nolan Smith's team.
All right, then. Here, I will change it real quick. I just thought I saw where it said McNeese State is who they were playing.
They play Vanderbilt.
Thought you meant that Iowa State was playing Vanderbilt.
No.
Vanderbilt. I knew that wasn't right.
I was looking at it and I was like, why has he got on McNeese State as tennis with Iowa State? Like,
I thought I saw where it said McNeese State, but my bad. All right, they're matching up with Tennessee State after the Kentucky game. I mean, John, this is probably going to be a rout game, is it not?
Yeah, I mean, it is. They're very balanced. They're really good. They play a top 10 defense. Taman Lipsey's really good. Joshua Jefferson's really good for them. He's an All-American candidate.
I mean, let's be honest. Arizona just barely beat them in the Big 12 tournament.
Yeah, and at times when they're rolling, Brad, they can be as good as anybody. Well, let's be honest. They
I don't know if y'all caught the Bradley shot.
Yeah.
I mean, they barely beat this.
I mean, that's just – it is what it is. It happens. They did beat Kansas. They beat Houston. There was a point there in the year where they was just dominant, Brad. Like I think the first 2 or 3 weeks, and then they kind of lost some games and kind of went. And then they went and beat St. John's. They beat Purdue, and then they just won 4 their next 8. And they kind of went through a little stretch where they didn't play really well. So, but when they're good, they're a beautiful, beautiful team to watch, especially offensively. And their defense is just suffocating. And that's the one thing that kind of concerns me if Kentucky gets in that little spot. Because if, Kentucky's not great shooting the ball at times, and you get a little defense on somebody, and it can be trouble to score.
If Kentucky gets past Santa Clara, Iowa State most likely is going to win this game handily. This will be a tough matchup. We will talk about this just a little bit further in a few minutes. But, John, I want to get to some recruiting rumors from Kentucky. This is not a rumor. Christian Collins is set to announce Kentucky is in his final 3. It's USC, Kentucky, and a surprise with Louisville. Most thought UCLA was in there. But John, I think most are picking him to wind up at USC.
I'll be honest. We're just a hat on the table tomorrow. Let's just be fair. Now, I've heard a little bit of stuff about Tyron Stokes. I don't really know a lot going behind the scenes there. I just know that there's a lot of smoke, like, going towards Kentucky a little bit. Hopefully that can kind of change things a little bit, help the recruiting. Because I think if you get Stokes, Brad, I think it kind of pushes
it definitely changes the narrative.
Well, what it does, it pushes other players to go there.
Yeah.
Is my point. But Christian Collins is probably going to USC. And there was a point where Kentucky had this kid wrapped up.
Yeah. There is something else that come out. Supposedly, Yaxel Lindenberg told the AP that Kentucky offered him between $7 and $9 million last year, and he took less money to go to Michigan. Have you heard this, John?
I've heard it. I've seen it in just a few minutes. If that's the case,
I don't know that this is true. This is rumors. That's the reason why I put rumors up there. This is rumors. I can't guarantee you that any of this stuff is true, but that is something that's being talked about or going around.
If that's the case, what's really going on behind the scenes?
I mean, this came supposedly from Lindenberg himself.
Yep. I mean,
supposedly.
I don't know, Brad. You can say anything nowadays. Like
all these people, John, that have been saying, well, it's about the money. It's all about the money. It's about the money. I hate to tell people, but sometimes it's not all about money.
It's about the fit.
Sometimes it's not all about money.
It's about the fit, maybe the coach, maybe there's an assistant.
Maybe the style. Maybe the style.
Play.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've seen kids do less money because a coach is at that certain school that they, was coached through high school and they're there. And they basically go there because they want to be with their old coach. Like sometimes it's not all – now, majority of the time it's about money, but sometimes it's about, like you said, fit, style. Maybe there's a former coach that they got coached at AAU circuit, travel ball, and they want to be reunited with them. So sometimes it's not always about the money, Brad.
It's not. I just wanted to kind of hit on that. All right, before we move on to the women, not one last thing with the men here, John. What do you think Kentucky's NCAA outlook is here? I mean,
I love them. I love the boys. Denzel, Ortega, me and Ortega has, being media now. I've gotten to have some relationships with some of these players. And, their parents, and they're really good kids, Brad. And I think they play really hard, and I think they give 100% effort. But the odds are against them right now. Let's just be fair.
It could be, Clyde, but I mean,
I'm going to say this.
That's part of what we're talking about here.
But I will say this, Brad. The effort that they have given at times this year. You look at the Tennessee game. You look at the Arkansas game, the Vanderbilt. If they can bring that kind of effort, I think there's a chance they could go to the Sweet 16. And I think adding Cam Williams helps that. Now, everybody's saying, well, Cam don't do a lot. Yeah, he does. If he can hit an extra 3 or 2, it does change everything. Because he comes in and kind of gives a guy a spark off the bench, kind of gives a guy a rest, a Aberdeen or Chandler or, Diabate's playing really well, right? Diabate, I'm going to say something. Mo, shout out Mo. You're playing as good as anybody right now.
You're playing really well the last 8
He's hustled. He's played hard. The Florida game especially, I felt like there was a couple rebounds that he got that, normally he wouldn't have got early in the year, and he kind of fought for it. I felt like they played hard against Florida, Brad. I was going to bring that up with the SEC tournament a minute ago. I felt like they played the right type of game. They just didn't hit shots.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it was. I mean, you can't go – they literally for 15 minutes at the end of the first half and beginning of the seventh or second went 4 of 27.
I know where your mind's at. You're on baseball mode.
No, I was thinking 27 shots is what I was thinking.
You just simply can't hit. You can't miss shots. You can't. And Brad, let's be fair. There was 3 or 4 wide open shots from the 3-point line that Vandy hit in the semifinals that we did not hit, and that's why that they ended up going to the championship game and beating Florida.
What's up, Coleman? Coleman is joining us now. What's up, Coleman?
What's up, guys? Fresh off my show, so thanks for letting me come in a little late. But
yeah, he was on Talking Kentucky tonight, so.
Yeah, we have Vanderbilt winning the national championship, it turns out. So don't know if that's a good take, but that's how the cookies crumbled tonight.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we're talking about Kentucky's out.
Yeah, the might not be a great cookie. Might be a special cookie.
Yeah.
We're talking about Kentucky's outlook here. I mean, honestly, a Sweet 16 would be a really, really good run. I think that's probably the top. I mean, is there a slim, and I mean very slim chance they could get to an Elite Eight? I mean, maybe, but I just don't think that's going to happen.
No, and it's I've seen a lot of people pick the Santa Clara upset over Kentucky. I don't necessarily. Could they beat us? Yeah, I think they could. I think we'll probably show up and win that game. But Kentucky did get about as good of a draw as they could have. That's very true.
I said out of the 2 seeds, Iowa State is probably the more winnable game than any of them. You know, you got Houston, Purdue.
UConn hasn't played well lately, to be honest with you. I thought UConn might have been a little better matchup, to be honest, but it is what it is.
I still would rather – I just don't want to play Dan Hurley. Like, I would still rather play Iowa State, I think.
I mean, we beat St. John's, and St. John's just handed them a ass whooping. So,
yeah, what do you all think about that St. John's win? I mean, that is like the only time we had a fully healthy roster the whole year. But do you feel like that was kind of a fluky win, or what?
They was kind of struggling at the time, Coleman. They was going through some injuries. They had a lot of guys out, and I think they kind of improved over time. And they just punched everybody in the mouth in the Big East and pretty much made their point.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. I know Coleman just come in, but we're going to switch it up. I've got several things we're going to do tonight, so we're going to switch it up and go to the women here. The women got a 5 seed last night in the Selection Sunday for them. They did not get a host site here for the women. But they did get a 5 seed. They play number 12 seed James Madison, which, John, is pretty ironic because that is Kenny Brooks' alma mater. And, by the way, he is James Madison's women's basketball all-time winningest coach.
Yeah, they got a good team, Brad. They're 26-8. They secured a bid from the Sun Belt. They got a great shooter in Peyton McDaniels. I think she's averaging 18 a night. It's going to be JMU's first March Madness since 23 when they lost to Ohio State. And then you got Kentucky, Brad. They finished 500 in a really, really tough conference. Just some losses that they should have won. They should have beat Tennessee, I felt like. They should have won some games that, you know, Texas was right there. They had Texas.
I mean, John, they went 2-4 without Tiani Key,
well,
and that was a big deal.
And the 2 Vanderbilt games, I felt like kind of let slip away. Listen, they got Tony Morgan, they got Clara Strack, they got Asia Boone. I think they're going to play good in the Morgantown region. I really do. I think they end up coming out of there. I really do.
I mean, I want to talk a little bit about Kenny here. I was at the watch party last night, and Kenny came up to me before the show began, and we kind of had about a 5-minute conversation. And I mentioned the chance that the NCAA might match him up with James Madison. and he acknowledged it. He knew that it might happen. I told him, for me personally, that I would hate that for him if it did happen, and he had a little chuckle and a little laugh. But I want to mention something because Kenny told me a story. Kenny said, actually, ironically, it was in his second year at Virginia Tech, and this is his second year at Kentucky. But his second year at Virginia Tech, Virginia Tech made the women's NIT, okay? And in the NIT, there's host sites just like there is in the NCAA, all right? They sent Kenny to James Madison in the NIT in his second year of Virginia Tech. And he said it was all set up. He's like, it was, that they intended to do that and everything. And he said, it's not that big of a deal. I've already done it once. And he kind of chuckled and laughed. And I thought it was kind of a cool story. So I thought I'd share it here tonight.
Yeah. And I kind of wanted to kind of bring up the whole West Virginia side of it too, Brad. They've had a really, really good year.
We're going to talk about them. I got a topic for their game, actually. So, but John, I think the girls seemed really excited last night. Mm-hmm. I do want to show a video here. I was at the watch party last night. I want to show a video here of the moment that Kentucky was mentioned and the girls found out where they were going to be. So I'm going to show this video real quick.
Sweatshirts and denim down below. Yeah, this is a team that Kenny looks really likes. Has been strong the last couple of weeks, really good against the tournament. So good the DTI keeping her stride as well after she's outstanding. The athleticism for DTI. There are people that need that. Billy taking on James Madison, Charlie. Watch Bailey Daniel. She won the solo career last year. She's a really good player. She can shoot it. She can get to the rim. Could be a little bit difficult for the Wildcats. Well, anniversary is the third one has been through the NCAA tournament. All right. The three teams weekend, the Wolf Cardinals, Charlie, what impressive here. They're so bad. She had no idea what they went tonight.
I thought it's kind of neat that when they said James Madison, that the room kind of got quiet. Yeah. The room kind of got quiet and everybody kind of turned to look to see what Kenny's what Kenny's reaction was going to be and stuff.
He just smiled when the name come up. He just kind of smiled.
Yeah, he just kind of smiled. Like I said, we had a conversation about it like 20 minutes before that happened. So, like, he knew that it was a possibility. Coleman, I just want to point out that it's really cool to be a part of that. I appreciate that. I mean, Tayani Key come up and talked to me for 5-6 minutes before. Kenny Brooks come up and talked to me. Kenny's wife, Chrissy, come up and talked to me for a few minutes. Clara Strack talked to me. This is all off the record before, like this. Nobody has to come up and really mingle and talk to you. This was all record. Coleman, it's really cool to be a part of stuff like that.
Man, that's really cool. I'm so happy for you, Brad and John. You guys have come so far, and to see you guys, get credentialed and to be at these events and get to. I mean, even you, John, shared a video of interviewing Otega Owe a few weeks back, right? So I mean, it's just
it's just so neat, cool. Coleman. Because not many people get to be in that position, and it's just really, really awesome to be able to connect. And, me and Brad always say it's about building relationships. You build relationships with these parents. You build relationships with these cousins, aunts, uncles.
You wouldn't believe it. Uncles, brothers, sisters are there. These players. Yes. I mean, it's a lot.
And sometimes you gotta watch what you say. I mean, can't be out here throwing stones at somebody's kid because somebody's parents want to come run you down on the web. I mean, it's just
that's right, but it's also
it's a respect thing. So,
you know,
like I said, I enjoy it. I love what Brad does. I always told Brad that the women's game, I think, fits him a little bit more than in my game is more the men's wheelhouse, because I love basketball, Coleman. I've loved it ever since I was a kid. Yep. I love Kentucky. I love, the arena. When you go in there, I've always said, when you recruit kids to Kentucky, and I was talking about the John Wall thing when they was, DeMarcus Cousins, they're like celebrities. When they walk in those places, it's like being the president of the United States. It's like everybody just zooms in on you. And I'm talking about the players. The players have all this, glamour. It's just, Kentucky is a fun place to be. And it's a wonderful place to be. And they got really good athletics. And they got really good people running it behind the scenes.
They do. And I just had Stephen Peak on my show from KSR a couple of weeks back. And I asked him, because I have a lot of people that listen to my show that aren't from Kentucky or aren't Kentucky fans. And I asked him to try to sum up what it means to be a Kentucky fan, because I don't know if you've all seen, but he had that video of his grandfather that had took all the stats and everything, and he said it's honestly like a religion. We throw that term around a lot, but it's honestly true. He brought up the fact that how many places can you go that everybody is gathered for the same reason, the same purpose, and has the same feelings about something other than church? Rupp Arena, Kroger Field. It's
Can I tell a quick story real quick?
Yeah.
Hang on. Before you get into that, John, I want to ask you a question about this watch party, okay? Mm-hmm. The men did nothing last night. Mm-hmm. And it was the first time in forever that the men did nothing. And these are really cool events to be a part of, to get the excitement out there, to have interviews, to talk to the players, to hear from them. Mm-hmm. What did you think about the men not having a watch party last night?
I didn't really think nothing of it, Brad. I was trying to pull up the quote that Pope made. He actually interviewed him about it, and he said it's actually the only moment we've had the entire season where it was just us. This is from Tyler Thompson from X. And it just gave us a short evening, actually, to kind of have some personal, private conversations. We actually had a great night. It was a very meaningful night for our guys. I think it set the tone for us to give ourselves the best possible chance to make a magical run here.
If it works out, John, it'll be a genius move. If it don't work out, and they flame out on Friday,
there's always going to be somebody that's going to say something. I mean, the way our fans operate, Coleman knows they operate in droves, and if something is turned and twisted, it just gets out there and whatnot. But I want to tell a quick story, and we'll get back to this. It was 1998. It was the Duke Elite Eight game. Hishamu Evans, Jeff Shepard, all these guys. I was in church at the time of this night, and we was down 20, I think 19, 20 points, Coleman. And there was guys in the back listening to the game on the radio, giving everybody updates.
Yep.
And after the church was over, you had everybody huddled around here. And when Kentucky ended up winning, like the whole congregation went absolutely bananas. And when you talk about religion, I was like, we're sitting in a church house and there's like 3 or 4 guys sitting around the radio listening to the 98 team. Yeah. And the Cameron Mills, like I said, Evans, Wayne Turner. That was such a fun team. And that goes back to my childhood. I go way back to Mashburn, Dale Brown, Junior Brady. Jeff Brasso.
All right, John. I hate to cut you off, but
we were just kind of going.
we got a few things here to do, man. So
Well, I know. I was just kind of bringing up what Coleman was kind of.
No, that's right. I know. I agree.
So
I mean, listen, I get it. I've been a part of it all my life too. So there's all kinds of really cool stories.
Brad's trying to run point tonight.
Yes.
Listen, I've got a bunch of stuff for us to get to tonight. So,
I'm just
all right. Kentucky girls are playing in West Virginia. West Virginia is the 4 seed. They have to go on the road to play James Madison, and if they win, the winner of this game, John, West Virginia won the Big 12. They finished second in the regular season, and they won the Big 12 tournament last weekend before last. So they're coming off a big win for the West Virginia girls.
Yeah, and 27 wins are the third most in program history. They've had a really, really, really historic season, Brad. Can they continue that? Who knows? Kentucky's going to be a challenge for them, I think. And then they play a team in, Miami, Ohio. They've had a really good year, 26-2. They beat Toledo in the conference game, title game. It's their first appearance since 2008 for the Redhawks. So quite a while for the girls. So let's see what happens and, go down there, play your game. We got to hit shots, Brad. That's the thing I've said. The girls have got to hit their shots in these tournament settings. Because if you don't, you're not going to go very far.
I'll tell you another thing that they got to do. And I think it's majorly important for the girls here. And if they're going to upset West Virginia at home, because when you get a host site and you're a top 4 seed, you should at home win these games. If they're going to upset West Virginia here, they're going to have to feed Claire Strack. They can't let Claire Strack have 8 shots, 9 shots.
I'm probably even saying that in the James Madison game. Put the game out early, put them away early, get ready for West Virginia.
I want to see Tiani Key be hellacious on the boards, and getting a lot of boards and getting some putbacks. I'd love to see her stretch the floor with some 12 to 17 footers, and not be shy of shooting that shot. She's really good at it. And I think if they do those things down low, I think it'll open the shots up for Amelia Hassett and Boone, Asia Boone.
I think Asia Boone's the X factor. I think if she's hitting threes and she's doing her thing, I think Kentucky can go very far. I actually think they probably go and play Texas in the Sweet 16 in Austin. So,
well, that's kind of the outlook. I mean, that was one of my next topics here was the outlook for the girls.
I think the Sweet 16's the floor or the ceiling. I think, Brad, it's just going to be really tough.
I have watched us play Texas. So, can Kentucky find a way? Can the girls find a way to beat this Texas team? They've been right there in the games the last 2 times they played them. 2 points behind, 1 point behind with 4 or 5 minutes to go. The last 2 times, they just can't finish the game because Texas turns it up, and they just can't finish the game.
Their defense is what gets you.
It's
Roy
elite.
Harmon, Booker, it's just they're elite.
So, I mean, I'm a little partial. I still believe this team. There's a slim, and I mean slim, outside shot that I think if they could get past Texas, I think they could make the Final Four. I'm just saying. I really think they could. Kenny's that kind of coach. I really do believe that. Kenny is that kind of coach. Now, I'm not going to pick that. I think you're right. I think Texas is going to be a tall task in Dallas-Fort Worth.
Yeah, that's Dallas. That's right. It's not
because that's where the game will be played. The regional is in Fort Worth. So that's going to be a tough environment. It won't be a home game, but it'll be a home crowd.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't you think, Coleman? in Fort Worth for Texas? Is Coleman froze? Oh,
Yeah.
there he is.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hey, the location matters in these games. It really, really does. So, yes. Am I frozen? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think
Can
you
you hear
are
me?
froze.
Okay.
Coleman.
Sweet.
Yeah, I
No,
can
I think
hear you.
location matters in these games, is what I was saying.
Yeah.
There it is.
It does.
There it is. You're not froze anymore, but you was froze for a second there.
Yep.
All right,
Well,
one more thing on the girls real
I'll
quick.
exit and come back then.
No, you're okay
It does
now, I
matter.
think.
Okay.
All right, one more thing on the girls, John. I want to highlight Madden Greenway's accomplishments, man. Like, this girl's unbelievable. I don't know if you guys know, but she won her 5th consecutive state championship on Sunday or on Saturday night, I think. And she finished her career as the 3rd most leading scorer in the United States of America girls high school basketball history.
Phew.
History. 5,621 points. She also is the state record holder for boys or girls in Minnesota. She's the state record holder for assists. She is a McDonald's All-American. I mean, there's nothing. She is a 2-time state champion in soccer. She's also the leading state girls soccer scorer in Minnesota's history with 218 in soccer. I mean, there's nothing this girl can't do, to be honest with you.
Can she play water polo?
I mean, she's got a state championship in June of 2025 in the 300-meter hurdles in track and field. She's got a state championship there. I mean, there's nothing this girl can't do, to be honest with you. And Kenny went to the game. Matter of fact, he told me that he went to the game for the state championship game. Kenny was there. They just beat a snowstorm, he said, to get out of there, which I found was interesting. But I just want to give a big, huge shout out to Madden Greenway. Coleman, if you don't know, maybe you recognize Chad Greenway that played for the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah. Sure.
She is his daughter. And like, I cannot wait to cover this girl. She is going to be so much fun.
She's a lot of fun to watch.
She averages like 6 steals a game. Who the hell averages 6 steals a game?
Ashton Higgins, maybe not even him. But yeah, no, it's that's gonna be fun. Man, Kenny's really turning this program around quickly, and he's brought in some players that are just really, really fun to watch. And
I'm going to give you guys a bold prediction, okay?
Okay.
If Madden Greenway, if Madden Greenway stays healthy for 4 years and stays 4 years, I think she's going to challenge Valerie Steele's record at Kentucky.
That's a bold prediction, Brad. It's a bold prediction.
I said if she stays healthy and if she stays there.
Valerie, we had you on the show. He's pushing the button.
Yeah, Valerie,
I'm sorry. We did have you on the show, and I have the utmost respect for you. Honestly,
I do too.
She is Kentucky's all-time leading scorer.
She's the GOAT.
Not just the women's or men's. Okay, and I have the utmost respect. Do what?
I said, hey, she may agree with you, though.
I'm telling you, I think Madden Greenway might be able to challenge her if she can stay healthy.
She's the GOAT, Brad. Valerie Steele, she was in my dad and mom's time. I used to hear stories. She can she can flat ball now.
Absolutely. All right. I just wanted to put that out there. I wanted to talk a little bit about Madden because I think she is going to be super, super special. I cannot wait until she gets to the Kentucky in Lexington to play next year. It's going to be so fun. All right, we're going to switch things up. I've got a couple of things here. All right, Coleman. That's fine. I just read your message, so
Oh yeah.
that's fine. Yeah, I'm just cleaning up a few things here before we move on to the next segment. I'm going to change the layout. So just so you guys know, I'm going to change the layout here before we go to the next segment. And
we're small.
We are small, but that is for a reason. You will see that here in a minute. You'll see the reason here in a minute.
Yeah.
All right. We are going to talk about the brackets here.
Okay. Yeah.
We're going to talk about the brackets here and just kind of do a little bit of a rundown. This is the top half of the Duke bracket. The next slide will show the bottom half of it. Guys, I want to give it to you and we're going to run through, and we're only going to make picks for the first and the second round this week. All right. We're only going to make picks for the first and second round.
I'll just go ahead and put mine out real quick. Duke's winning this, the first game. Cameron Boozer is just so good. I don't see these other two teams kind of hanging in the game. He's not the only reason. Caleb Foster was a really big part of that. Now he got hurt. He was out for the OACC tournament. Not sure if he'll see the court again. Isaiah Evans is going to have to step up. Caden Boozer, his brother, is going to probably step up. Give me Duke in that first game. I just think they'll overwhelm the 16th seed.
Go ahead with the next one. Just kind of run down, then I'll let Coleman go.
You got TCU and Ohio State.
Yep. Keep going there.
They're basically playing as good as anybody, Brad. They was on the bubble. Back in February. Jake Diebler's a really good coach for them. They had a victory over Purdue. I felt like that helped them a little bit get in the tournament. Bruce Thornton is playing as good as anybody. If Buckeyes play their game, I think they could give Duke some trouble. Then you got TCU, like I said, Jamie Dixon. They're really, really good. They beat Wisconsin. They beat Iowa State. They beat Texas Tech. Now, they started out, I think, 6-7 in a stretch early in the Big 12. Then they won 6 games in a row. David Punch is really good for them. They're a intriguing group, but I just don't think they have the manpower to stay with Duke that Ohio State does. I think Ohio State has better guards, and I think that's why I think they could give Duke a little bit of push.
I'm sure you are probably picking Duke to make the Sweet 16. Though,
I am. Yeah.
All right.
I think Duke's there. I don't think any other team's going to be able to compete with them.
I'm going to give Coleman the bottom 4 teams in the top half of this bracket here.
That's fine. I'll do the top, and he can do the bottom.
All right, Coleman, I got a question for you. Did Rick Pitino and St. John's kind of get screwed here with a 5 seed?
I think they did. I think they're the best 5 seed in this bracket for sure. But I still have them in the Final Four personally. So I'm going St. John's easily to win this game. I think they have a pretty clear path. Not to
interrupt you though, Coleman. I do think they beat Kansas too. I think they have the inside game. I think they have the guard play. I think they got a little bit of everything.
They beat UConn twice. The UConn gets a 2 seed. They won the regular season and the conference tournament, and you give St. John's a 5?
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I think they deserved a 3. I think they was higher than that.
I'll say this. This is by far the most stacked region. The East region is loaded.
I agree, because you got Louisville at the bottom. And
I just think St. John's got the shaft, to be honest with you, on the seed line, to be honest.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
All right, go ahead, Coleman, with Kansas, the next game there.
Yeah, I think Kansas is in for an early exit, but I think they win this game.
Yeah, I think they win that one.
But I don't. I think they might be knocked out the first weekend. To be honest with you,
St. John's.
St. John's, yeah. So,
all right. Yeah. Do you have any objections to Hammond's top half of this bracket?
I think TCU is going to beat Ohio State. I can't remember what John said, but I think TCU.
I think Ohio State. I just think Bruce Thornton's the better guard out of this group. I just think.
Sure.
All right.
he
All
can
right.
take over
I'm
the
going to
game.
switch it up. We are going to go to the bottom side of this bracket. So the 6 versus 11, Hammonds, you can start with that one.
You got Louisville, so up and down, Brad. Now, does Michael Brown come back? That's the question. If he does, I think they can make a run in the Sweet 16. Ryan Conwell's playing good for them. He's the 6'4" transfer from Xavier. Louisville doesn't have any top wins over the top teams. But I feel like if they have a healthy Michael Brown, they can at least get a Cinderella run out of this.
Yeah, but could they get upset if they don't have a healthy
Yeah,
Michael?
that's another question. And the other one is South Florida. And what a job Brian Hostin has done. I feel like he's Coleman, he's one of the hottest coaches right now for a high major job. I think Syracuse, he's got a pick of Syracuse or Providence for his last. I don't even know if he goes, if he stays. He's got Isaiah Nelson playing really good for him. He's really, really good. 9 rebounds a night. I think he had a double-double in a game against Alabama. Utah State. He's the best. To me, he's the best mid-major player in all of college basketball. I think he's really, really good, and I think Cardinals are going to have some trouble with him.
Well, guys, I've got to duck out, but I'll leave on this take. This is my 1-11-6 upset. I think South Florida gets Louisville here. It's not just me being a UK homer. I think South Florida upsets them. So
I mean, I think it's all going to depend on Mikel Brown playing. Brown, to be honest.
That's basically it, because if Mikel Brown ain't playing, you kind of force everybody else to get theirs, and they haven't been consistent without him in the lineup. And I think with him, he adds he's explosive and he can score in bunches. And if you got that, I think you can make a little bit of a run to the Sweet 16. But if you get past South Florida, you're going to have to go up against a really good Michigan State team.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me. I've got to duck out, but I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you hopping on for a few minutes, Coleman. Have a good night.
All right. Thanks, guys. Go Cats.
Have a good one, man.
All right.
Michigan State, I think they win this game, Brad. They've won some really good games this year. They're 7th nationally in offensive rebounding. They got a really good defense. Jeremy Fears is really good.
I think the Spartans are going to win this one, to be honest. Surely.
I think they have 4 players, Brad, who are averaging double figures. That's hard to believe.
Yeah.
And they're really good.
Mick Cronin and had UCLA playing really well, I mean, in the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah, UCLA has kind of figured things out. Donovan Dent. Now, I think he got injured. Not sure the whereabouts, what's going to go on with him, but the shots weren't going. They was having a time really fighting the bubble, but they kind of fixed it. They salvaged their year. They earned their 5th bid in the last 6 years. Who knows? But I do think UCLA wins this game.
All right.
Then the 2-seed game, I think it's UConn. I'm going to pick the Huskies in this one. The Huskies they just laid an egg in the big.
It's UConn versus Furman.
Yeah, I think UConn wins this game. I just think that, Dan Hurley's going to do his thing.
All right, so bottom half of the bracket, who you got in your Sweet 16? Who's the winners coming out?
I got Michigan State and I got UConn. I think Michigan State and UConn play in the Sweet 16.
Okay.
But I got South Florida beating Louisville, and that's not because that's not the rivalry. That's just South Florida's good.
Yeah, man. I agree that they are. So, like I said, I think it's going to depend a whole lot on Michael Brown, to be honest.
Yep.
All right, the Florida region. I've got the Florida region up. We're just going to do the top half of this.
I got Florida on this one. Thomas Houck, Ruben Chinyelu, Alex Condon. They're going to dominate this game.
I think they're going to bounce back. I think they're going to be kind of pissed off. What do you think?
They're going to beat Lehigh, or whether it's Lehigh or Prairie View. They're going to.
Yeah.
They might have turned the game off at halftime. It's not going to be pretty.
Yeah. And then you got Clemson versus Iowa. Now, this game could be kind of interesting.
Yeah, it is. Clemson's a funny team. They've had some really good wins, and then they've kind of looked, I don't know, just out of the ordinary. Now, I want to say
they play really good at home, but they don't play great on the road.
They got a really good player in R.J. Godfrey. He transferred to Georgia, then he come back this year. Really good player for them. And then you got on the other side the Hawkeyes. Bennett Sturts is really, really good. Ben McCollum, the coach. This is a good Iowa team. They're going to have to hit their threes to win this game. But I don't think neither one of these teams is going to beat Florida when it's all said and done. I mean, I think Clemson probably matches up better with them size-wise. But other than that, I just think Florida's got too much.
All right, Vanderbilt and McNeese. Vandy had a heck of a run.
Yeah. I think I'm going to take Vanderbilt. I do like this McNeese team. They're really, really good. They got the Aurora Khan, the boombox guy.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know who I'm talking about. The guy that plays the rap music comes out of the locker room.
Yeah. He was there last year.
Yeah, he's my guy. I like that guy. So
I remember.
Yeah, give me Vanderbilt, though, in this game. I think they win this game. And I got Nebraska winning this one. Troy's a really good team.
This Nebraska team is a really good team. They had a great start to this year.
I would not be shocked if Nebraska won this game, but I wouldn't be shocked if Troy kind of kept it close for a while.
All right, so the top half of this bracket, who you got in the Sweet 16?
I actually got Nebraska. I think Nebraska makes a run, too. I think Fred Hoiberg's got his best team he's had in a while. And
so Nebraska and Florida?
Yeah, I think Nebraska and Florida.
By the way, if Nebraska gets to the Sweet 16, I think it'll be their best ever run in the history of Nebraska basketball.
That's hard to believe.
I'm pretty sure that's right.
So,
all right, the bottom half of this bracket, John, we're going to look at that, starting with the 6-11 here in North Carolina, VCU.
I think VCU has a chance to win this game, Brad. North Carolina is not done well without Caleb Wilson. They've simply not. And I think this is a game where you don't want to fall asleep. Phil Martelli Jr., I know most don't know, his dad was the legendary coach at St. Joe's.
Yep.
He led Bryant to a NCAA tournament, or the second tournament appearance. So they're really, really good, Brad. They shoot well behind the arc. They're really good defensively. I think they can give North Carolina some fits. I just think the whole Caleb Wilson thing is going to be tough on North Carolina to even get to the Sweet 16, because if they get past this, like I said, they got to go up against Illinois. The team's got Keaton Wagler, the European guys.
And therefore, a large part of January and February, Illinois looked like one of the best teams in the country.
They was a juggernaut, Brad. They basically beat up everybody. So, but I'm going to take Illinois to win the Penn game.
And then we got St. Mary's and A&M. I think this is going to be an intriguing game.
Yeah, but the thing about A&M is they are so up and down, Brad. Like, they had a couple of those wins early in the year.
I think that's part of the reason why it's intriguing, because you don't know which team you're going to get with A&M.
No, you're not. And I love Bucky McMillan, Bucky Ball. He's really changed that program, Brad. They're 21-11. Many thought they wouldn't even make the tournament this year, and they did. Now, they did have that ugly showing in the SEC tournament against Oklahoma, but they was picked 13th, Brad, out of 16 teams in the SEC. And they finished tied for 4th with Vanderbilt in Tennessee. Good job, Bucky. He's got them turned around.
So, you picking the Gales, or are you picking
A&M? I think A&M wins this game. I like St. Mary's, but I just think their pressure, A&M's pressure, is too much.
All right, Houston plays, I think that says Idaho. Is that not right?
Yeah, it is. Houston's really good, Brad. They're good defensively. Kingston Flemings might be one of the best freshmen in the country. He's projected a draft lottery pick as well. He had 42 points.
Really strong in the second half versus Arizona.
Yeah. They're offensively, they're the third team in the nation in turnover rate. They can turn you over quick. I think Flemings is a big part of this team if they're going to get to the Final Four, but I think they win this game. And I got Illinois and Houston playing in the Sweet 16.
All right. So then we're going to go to the Arizona bracket. We got Arizona as the 116 here. I'm pretty sure everybody's going to have Arizona picked in this one.
Arizona. Jaden Bradley's having an unbelievable year, Brad. Big 12 player of the year. Braden Burries is playing well.
I mean, that pro shot he hit over to beat Iowa State, I mean, Lord have mercy.
Impressive, man. Listen to this, Brad. They have wins over Florida, UConn, Alabama, Kansas, Houston.
Yeah. I mean, it's
so
unreal.
Good.
Matter of fact, Tommy Lloyd is high on my list, to be honest.
Yeah. And then you got the Villanova game with Utah State. I love this Villanova team. I think Caden Lewis is really, really good for them. Bryce Lindsey's playing well for them. Duke Brennan.
Who's their coach, John?
Kevin Willard.
Bowling Green guy.
And if people don't remember, they actually have two former Kentucky Devin Askew's on that team.
Yeah, I mean, Caden Lewis. Yeah,
with the Caden Lewis. And then you got Utah State. Utah State is a fun team to watch, Brad. They get out and they shoot the ball really well. MJ Collins Jr., most don't know him, but he's a St. Louis transfer.
Mountain West champions.
Yep, Mountain West champions. Drake Allen plays really well for them. But I'm going to go with Villanova here. I think they get past this and they match up with Arizona.
All right, we got Wisconsin and High Point. Wisconsin made a heck of a run in the Big Ten tournament.
Brad, this is a game that I could see an upset.
Okay.
High Point is pretty decent. They're really, really good, Brad. The Panthers, they won the Big South pretty handily. They won 14 in a row. Rob Martin is really good for them. Terry Anderson plays really well for them. They force a lot of turnovers, Brad. They get after you. I think no matter who they play, they're going to play hard, no matter if it's Wisconsin, whether it's the second game. I think this team is really, really fun to watch. But I do think Wisconsin wins this game, though. But I think it'll be tight. And then Arkansas, what is there to say, Brad? And I know people's not going to like this, but I actually think Arkansas has a chance to get to the Elite Eight. Just based on Darius Acuff.
The Rainbow Warriors here are probably going to be way in over their head.
Yes. They're not going to – I don't think they're going to be able to compete in this game.
Yeah, I think the Rainbow Warriors are going to be way over their head here in this game. Definitely taking Arkansas in this one. But, the next game, John, could be interesting. I mean, BYU, if they can get out of this and get to the Arkansas game, that game actually could be interesting.
Yeah, you got NC State and Texas.
Yep.
NC Miller's had a good year. Will Wade's had a really fantastic year. Darian Williams, Quadir Copeland, that's their top two. They're very vulnerable, though, Brad. They're not great defensively. Texas can shoot the ball really well at times. They didn't have a lot of quality wins, but they did beat Alabama and Vanderbilt, which I felt like made a big difference in whether they made the tournament or not. And Dalen Swain, Brad talked about him all year long. Dalen Swain, it can play. And if he's going, I think he can be about as good as anybody.
But, I mean, Will Wade's got some talent in NC State, too, if he can get them to play.
He does. I think I'm going to go Texas here, Brett. I think Texas gets into this second game, or the BYU game, and I actually think they got a shot to beat BYU. A.J. DeMonta's good. I get it, but they're really missing Richie Saunders.
I know, but call me crazy. I just would really kind of like to see the A.J. DeMonta versus Acuff.
That would be.
I would just I'm hoping that's the matchup, man, because that's going to be like primetime TV right there.
Yeah, two good freshmen going at it, legit
I'm
freshmen.
telling you. Like, the NCAA knew what they were doing when they tried to match up these two, man.
Yep, they did.
Like,
And I
that's
got Arkansas going to the Sweet 16, and I got BYU going
all
to
right.
the Sweet 16.
All right, the bottom half of this bracket, that's what it looks like here, starting with the 6-11.
Who's that now? I'm
Did I not switch it? Oh, it didn't switch. I'm sorry.
which 6-11 is it? The Texas Tech.
I guess we jumped it. We already talked about the 6-11. I guess we jumped.
Never mind then.
So it's Gonzaga, Kennesaw State, the next one.
Oh, I think Gonzaga wins this. I think Gonzaga is playing really well right now, Brad. They are hitting their stride. Not sure if Braden Huff's going to be back. Now, Graham Ike is really good. Kid can play, Brad. Grant Foster's really good. He stepped up. Mario Saint Superi, I think that's how you pronounce it. He's had some really good time for them as well in the lineup. If Huff comes back, I think they could be a Final Four team, Brad. I do.
I mean, Arizona is going to be awfully hard to beat out of this.
It's going to be tough. That's a fact. And then down here at the bottom, I got Purdue winning this game. Purdue's playing at an elite level right now. Braden Smith, Fletcher Lawyer, Wren is playing good for them.
What about Miami and their new coach down there? I mean, he's a young guy. Do you think they have a chance against Dennis Gates?
Man, Missouri is so hard to judge because you don't know which Missouri team you're going to get. Like, you're going to get the Missouri team that took Arkansas to the brink, or you're going to get a Missouri team that, had some head-scratching losses in the season. Miami, look at Jai Lucas, 25 games. They finished 7-24 last year, Brett. That might be the best one-year turnaround I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing, to be honest with you. He's done.
I think they beat North Carolina. They beat Louisville. They finished third in the ACC. They had the Malik Renal, the portal Indiana transfer. He was part of their success. I think I might pick Miami in this game. I don't know which Missouri team you're really going to get.
So I'm taking the Zags and Purdue to reach the Sweet 16.
I'm going to say this about Missouri: if you haven't watched Mark Williams play,
Mark Mitchell.
Mark Mitchell. I mean, if you ain't ever watched Mark Mitchell play, you need to tune in. Kid can just get it in buckets.
Oh yeah, and he's really, really good. Like, he was almost unstoppable the other day, to be honest.
Yeah, he was. I got Purdue going to the Sweet 16.
And the Zags.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, the top of the Michigan bracket looks like this. There's a play-in game for the 16, but against this Michigan team, I really don't think that's going to matter.
Oh, well, no. They've overwhelmed a lot of their team. They got probably the biggest lineup. Yaxel Lindenborg, Morez Johnson, Mara. Mean, then you go to the guards, and that might be even more imposing. Like, this Michigan team is probably going to be in the Final Four, most likely, unless something drastic happens down the stretch. So, give me Michigan in that first game.
I think the next game is really intriguing, Georgia and St. Louis.
Yeah, you got the Robbie Avila, the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about the kid he was actually played at Indiana State and went to St. Louis when the coaching change made. And then you got the Georgia team that's kind of up and down, Brad. Mike White, I'm going to say this about Mike White. He's a solid guy, solid coach.
He is.
They top 15 defense in the country. Jeremiah Wilkinson's really good for them. Blue
I think they're a little up and down at times, but
They are.
I mean,
They're very up
Santos
and down.
Ariel has got to stay on the floor.
Yeah, he can't be in foul trouble or getting thrown
Yeah.
out of a game. I mean, basically.
Yeah.
And then you got the Billikens, man, they're so fun to watch. They're hitting on 40% of their threes, Brad.
I think Dayton upset them in the A10.
It was
Yeah.
George. I think it was George Washington. No, it was Dayton. I'm sorry. It was
I
Dayton.
think it was Dayton.
No, it might have been George Mason. I can't remember, but one of those two beat him. He's A10 Player of the Year, Robbie Avila. I think he's just so good, Brad.
Yeah.
I think Georgia's going to have a matchup problem having to guard him. But I got St. Louis in this game. I think they beat Georgia.
And then Texas Tech and Akron as the 5-12.
I think Texas Tech actually gets by this game, but I think they're going to struggle without Jacob Toppin or JT Toppin.
Yeah, but then you got Bama and Hofstra, and there's some news going around with Aiden Holloway. So
Yeah,
do you
got
think
a little bit
Bama's going to be distracted?
Well, I mean, look at early in the year, you had the Charles Bediako thing with the G League.
That's true.
You had the Aiden Holloway thing happen.
Yeah.
The good news for Alabama is they can score. They're as good as anybody when they score.
Have a great defense, but I don't think Hofstra is going to score 100 points.
Aiden Holloway, they said they might not even have him this weekend, and that means you're going to have to put all of your bread in your baskets into LeBaron Philon taking off.
Yeah.
And hopefully Amari Allen
Philon, like Ron Slay said.
Philon's so good, man. When he's going, he can be as good as anybody. I got Alabama, and I think I'm going to take Texas Tech to go to the Sweet 16. I think they beat Alabama.
Yeah, I do too. I'm going to go Texas Tech and Michigan.
I think the physicality kind of pushes Bama around.
All right, the bottom of this bracket is where Tennessee and Kentucky land. So let's start with the Vols versus possibly Miami of Ohio or SMU.
This is funny, Brad, because there's a lot of talk Miami of Ohio don't deserve it, this and that. But if you've watched them play all year, they're really good. Peter Sutter's really good for them. They got a really good offense. They can score with anybody. But the thing that really concerns me about Tennessee, though, is who's going to step up besides Jacoby Gillespie and Nate Ament. And if either one of them are having a bad night, Tennessee's probably not going very far.
I mean, Ament returned for the SEC tournament, had one good game, and then went 1 for 13 from the floor.
Yeah, he just couldn't hit. And then you got – I actually got Tennessee in the second game, the round of 32. But I'm going to give you one of my sleepers, Brad. They're a high major, but they're a sleeper. It's Virginia. And they gave Duke all they wanted. Coach Ryan Odom, has put his finger on this program. They rely a lot on three-pointers. They're really, really good inside the arc. I
got to give myself a little credit on this one. I called Ray Odom at Virginia being really good before the season started.
They're good. And I think they go to the Sweet 16. Odom, to me, I feel like he's National Player of the Year. National Coach of the Year candidate.
Coach, yeah. I mean, I agree, man. What are they, like 27-5 or something like that? I mean,
something around there. It's like 29-5, maybe
29-5. I don't know, something like that.
And here's the thing: is they pushed Duke to the brink. Like Duke was in trouble. And they had Duke on the ropes, and he almost won his first ACC championship in his first season
over Duke. Yeah.
A team that might win the whole thing. So give me Virginia to go to the Sweet 16.
All right. And then, of course, we got Kentucky, Santa Clara, and Iowa State versus Tennessee State.
I know everybody's picking against the Cats. But here's the thing. Kentucky can't get behind this game. And the thing about this game is they shoot the three. They
Yeah,
can
if
get
you
out
get
and push.
behind here, if you're behind in the second half here, the pressure is going to be on.
Yeah, it's going to get intense.
Yeah,
and it's going to intensify, and the crowd's going to go against the underdog.
Oh yeah,
and it's not going to be good. So you need to take care of business now. Do I say 8-9 points? Yeah, have a lead there where it's 8 or 9 and kind of slide your way to the home front, win this game. I just think you ain't going to be able to shoot what you did against Florida and expect to win this game. And they offensive rebound, they get after it. Santa Clara loves to crash the boards. And if you're not crashing the board, get a body on somebody. Here's my thing with this. We're talking about time in Kentucky because we cover the Cats, but every time the ball went up off the glass, a Florida guy was there waiting on it. We didn't block out.
no.
Put your body on somebody.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not picking against the Cats here. 7
not
versus
here.
10. I think
Kentucky
Santa
wins
Clara
the
is
game.
a good team. Could Santa Clara pull the upset if Kentucky does not shoot well? Possibly. I just think the Cats are rested up.
No, and to be fair, Brett, it's an early game. It's 12:15. It's going to be probably 11:15 in Central Time. It's going to be early. So how do they come out in that kind of regard as well? But I got Kentucky. And then the second game, I think Iowa State wins this game.
I think they're too much.
They got Joshua Jefferson.
Give me the Cyclones for sure.
Yeah, they're so good offensively when they're moving the ball around. And then I got Virginia and Iowa State. And I hate to pick against the Cats right here, but it's just a lot going against them.
I mean, that's fair. I think Kentucky could win the game. I think they're going to have to play really, really well to beat that Iowa State team.
They're not going to be able to play just so like, the Florida game. They're going to have to play at least the Missouri type where they're hitting some shots.
Yep. All right, John, we're going to switch it up and go to the girls tournament. This is Texas bracket. This is the one that Kentucky is in at the bottom. But Texas is the one, and they get the 16 seed here. I think it is a play-in game.
So good, Brad. Texas, they have the second most quad one wins in the country. Now, they did lose in the Final Four. What was it, last year? They haven't won the trophy since '86, the year I was born. So that's a long time.
That's the reason why they hired Vic, by the way. Yeah.
So give me Texas in this game. And then what's the 8-9 game?
I can't see because it's on the thing, but it's Virginia Tech. Hang on a minute.
Virginia Tech and Oregon. Oregon's really good. Katie Fisso is really good for them. Fun team to watch. I think they went 8-10 in the Big Ten. They didn't have a great Big Ten record. And then you have the Virginia Tech team, which is a pretty good team, Brad. They had a decent year. Former Coach Brooks coached there. Now they did lose back-to-back games in Notre Dame and Syracuse late. They won 5 of 6 to end the year. I think they win this game. I think they beat Oregon, but I don't think nobody's beating Texas. So,
I think Virginia Tech. The Hokies have played well lately.
They have.
So I'm going to take Virginia Tech in this one. And this one,
I think they could push Texas a little bit in the first half. I do.
Yeah, this is Kentucky's bracket. I said something wrong when I first started this, but I was talking about the men there at the bottom. Kentucky, James Madison, and then West Virginia, Miami, Ohio.
I got Kentucky in the first one. I think they kind of put them away early, and then the West Virginia, I got them over. We talked a little bit about it earlier. I got West Virginia. Now, the second round game, I think Kentucky's going to have some trouble. West Virginia is a pretty good team. And Clara Strack's going to have to be on. Tony Morgan's going to have to be on. They're going to have some girls hit some shots. And if they can do that, I think they go to the Sweet 16 to play Texas.
Yeah, I think I'm going to pick Kentucky and Texas to
How
play
about
in.
not
in
losing on
Fort
a
Hood.
buzzer beater like we did last year?
Yeah, that would be great. To be honest
That would
with
be
you.
a little bit better, wouldn't it?
All right, this is the bottom of the back of the bracket. I can't talk. Alabama, Rhode Island.
You know what's crazy is Alabama hasn't been to the Sweet 16 since 1998.
Yeah, they got so close last year, man.
They did. It's their fifth tournament in 6 years. Really good team, Brad. Fun team to watch. They're going up against a really, really fun Rhode Island team. Rhode Island's fun to watch at times. You know, first time in 30 years they've been to the tournament. It's their second appearance ever,
Yeah,
and they've only won one game.
right.
And they're 28-4. They had a really great year. I think Alabama get pushed, but I do think Alabama wins this game.
And then Jeff Walsh in Louisville. He's kind of been a hot pick here. Seems like when I've seen some of these analysts pick Louisville to maybe even get out of this bracket, which I think is, with Texas in it, is a little bit insane. But
I actually think Louisville wins this game.
NC State, Tennessee.
Actually, I think Louisville gets to the Sweet 16. I think they beat Alabama. So, man, what an ugly year for Tennessee. To be honest.
I'm sorry. Did I laugh? I'm sorry.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, they, so many ugly games, bad losses, blowouts. I mean, next year is going to be crucial for the Caldwell era. I just think. And NC State, Camille Pierre, Zoe Brooks, that's a really good team, man. They're sixth nationally in rebounds.
Look, this is a tough game for Tennessee. And Tennessee, listen, Tennessee has lost 7 in a row. They have lost 9 of their last 11. Like, they are just not in the right frame of mind. Can Kim Caldwell turn this around and win a couple games?
It's possible. I mean,
but I think I'm going to take the Wolfpack. They usually have a really, really good run in the tournament. I mean,
and then you got to go up. If you win that, you got to go up against a Michigan team.
Yep.
Schwartz is so good.
Be honest with you, a week ago, 10 days ago, I would have thought Michigan would be a 2 seed, to be honest with you.
I got Michigan going to the Sweet 16.
Yep.
So
I mean, I think that's good. So you got Louisville and Michigan.
Louisville and Michigan playing against you. That will be a fun matchup.
It would be. All right, we're going to move on to the North Carolina. Hang on a minute. Let me go to the top of this bracket.
South Carolina.
Yeah, there it is. I said, yeah.
I don't think nobody in this first couple rounds is going to beat South Carolina. Let's just.
I mean, USC is in there, but they're not the same USC without Juju.
I think they're getting back to Phoenix. I do.
Yeah,
I just think Dawn Staley. She just knows how to coach. She knows how to get her girls prepared.
Phoenix is where the Final Four is, but let's start with getting to Sacramento first, I guess. But
yeah, Clemson next. Clemson, the first appearance since 2002. Lost to Mississippi State that year.
Yeah.
And then they play who does Clemson play? Southern Cal. Southern Cal's not the same Southern Cal.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to pick Clemson in this game. I think they win this game.
I mean, I'm sure the NCAA wants the Women's March Madness wants to see USC versus South Carolina, SC.
Yeah, I think that has
I'm sure, but I think Clemson could give them a run. I mean, to be honest with you, Clemson's a good team here. So I agree with that.
Then you got Michigan State.
Yeah.
So strong, Brad. They've not made it out of what's funny is they've not made it out of the first 2 rounds the last 2 years. And they've had really good high seeding, and they've just not been able to get very far.
I took us off so you could see the last one here. It's Oklahoma versus Idaho.
Yeah, I got Oklahoma on this one. Oklahoma Betts, I think she's just so good, man, in the paint. Not Betts, Beers.
Reagan Beers. Yeah.
Reagan Beers. I think Reagan Beers is just so good in the
Chavez,
middle.
the freshman. She's the leading freshman scorer in the country.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma, Michigan State play for a right to go to the Sweet 16.
So who you got in the Sweet 16? I know you got South Carolina. What's your other one?
I think Oklahoma and South Carolina have a rematch.
Okay, that's a pretty good pick here. Good solid pick. The bottom half of this bracket looks like this. The 6-11 here. You think Washington pulls this one out?
Washington is a funny team. They got a really good player in Sellers. She's really good for them. Tina Langley is a really good coach. It's her second year. 10-8 in the Big Ten. They had a really good year, Brad. Now they're going up against South Dakota State team that can play. That's really fun to watch. But I do think Washington gets by them.
I mean, this one would be a good upset pick here, probably. If there's really not as many upsets normally in the women's game as there is the men's.
Not as often, no. And then you got TCU, who's playing is as good as anybody. Olivia Miles is playing out of her mind.
Yeah, they got two Kentucky girls on this team as well, by the way.
TCU gets to the Sweet 16.
I think TCU is a good pick there. And then the 7-10 game here, the 10 game is a play-in game, Virginia versus Arizona State. I want to give Molly a big shout-out here for getting Arizona State in her first year.
I actually thought they would get a better seed than that.
I did too, really. But, man, she is such a good coach, and she's going to be a star.
And then you got Georgia, who's had a really, really good year. They knocked off Vanderbilt at home this year. So
they beat Kentucky.
I think I'm going to take Arizona State in this game.
Versus Virginia or versus Georgia?
Both. I think Arizona State is really, really good.
They are. Molly's a really, really good coach. She's going to be a star.
Then you got the 2-seed Iowa. They're back in the saddle again. Fun team to watch. They're going to host the first two rounds.
Yep.
They have played one of the toughest schedules in the country.
Yeah.
And yet they're a 2-seed. That shows you how committed that this team has been this year.
So what do you think the bracket's going to look like?
I think Iowa makes it, but I wouldn't be shocked if Arizona State gives them all they want. But I think Iowa gets to the Sweet 16 and plays TCU.
Plays TCU?
Yep.
All right. That sounds like pretty good picks to me. Let's run through the UConn bracket. UConn is the number 1 overall seed. I just want to start that. They are undefeated, the only undefeated team.
31-0, Brad. The 5th longest win streak in college women's history.
Yep.
At 50 straight games.
Right. Trying to defend the title from last year.
It's going to take a big, big night to beat this team.
There's about 3 or 4 teams that I think can really challenge them, but that's going to be probably down the road.
Well, you got Sarah Strong, Asia Fudd. So fun to watch. I love this team. They get after it defensively. Ariema is the GOAT. I've said it. He's up there with Pat Summitt as one of the best of all time. So give me UConn. I don't even care who wins the Iowa State-Syracuse game. Because
Iowa State and Syracuse.
I mean, I hate to be that way, but I mean –
to even stay within 20, 30 points, to be honest.
It is what it is. Give me UConn in the Sweet 16. Maryland is a funny one, Brad, because they've been so drastic at times. This could be an upset pick.
I mean, it could be. Maryland was talked about as a possible host site, and they wound up with a 5.
Murray State's fun to watch. They have one of the most fun offenses in the country. I'm gonna pick Maryland, but I wouldn't be shocked if Murray State gave them some run here.
And then North Carolina is the host here in this bracket.
Yeah, I got North Carolina. They're really good, Brad. They shoot. Laney Grant is a fun player to watch for North Carolina. She can shoot it.
So Sweet 16, I'm picking UConn and North Carolina.
Yeah, that's who I'm picking.
Yeah, UConn and North Carolina in this one.
Just the one where I'm going to pick the underdog. Yep, it is.
All right, this is the 6-11 game here with Notre Dame.
I got Notre Dame in the Fairfield game. Ohio State has had a absolutely fun season. Kennedy Cambridge is really, really fun to watch. That's another team, Brad. We talk about Michigan State. Ohio State's not been able to get out of the first round in the second.
Yeah.
And they finally get over that hump, but I don't think they do. I think Notre Dame makes a run here.
I mean, I think it's a tough matchup for them. I really do.
Hannah Hidalgo can take a game over by herself.
Yeah, it's a tough matchup. I mean,
I got Notre Dame going to the Sweet 16.
Okay, there's your upset. Is that what you're saying?
I think they'll get. I think they get there.
Huh? I mean, that could be a good pick here. So let's go to Illinois, Colorado.
Illinois kind of went south after the first of the year. They had some lumps. Now they did have a big win over Maryland. And then you got what? Colorado, you said? Colorado's a fun team to watch. They've had some good runs. They went to the last two Sweet 16s. They're pretty confident to beat some of these high major teams, Brad.
I mean, I really think Illinois might win this one, to be honest with you, but could Colorado pull the upset here? I think they could.
I do. That's who I got.
I can't wait to see Michaela Blake's the last game she played. She struggled in the first half, and she doesn't do that often. She scored 24 in the second half by herself, so and almost brought them back in a blowout game in the first half because she was scoreless.
I got Vanderbilt going out of this bottom part of the region.
So you got Vandy and Notre Dame.
I think she'll avenge what happened at the SEC tournament. I think she's going to be on a mission.
And I'll be honest with you, if it happens, Michaela Blake's versus UConn is going to be really fun to watch.
It's going to be a lot of fun
if it happens, and I will fully say
scoring wise,
yeah. I think just seeing her go at Sarah Strong, this is the two girls that most people think are player of the year. So I think it's just going to be a fun matchup. So I'll put us back up on the screen here just so people are not like totally confused of where we're at.
Oh, we're almost done anyway. So
yeah, we are. But I'll put us back up on the screen here. All right. And then we got UCLA. UCLA has only got the one loss to Texas all year. UCLA versus California Baptist. And I want to put California Baptist out here. It is, I believe, their first ever NCAA tournament.
Well,
give them a shout out.
And that's another team, UCLA, that has been there, and they just can't get over the hump. Well, this year it's a little bit different. I feel like that they're right there. They're 19-1 in quad one games. 18-0 in conference. They absolutely put a beating on Iowa.
Yeah,
they made them look like they didn't even know what game they were at.
They sent them home crying.
They did. So give me UCLA in this top bracket. Oklahoma State's a fun team to watch. Their coach is a really good coach. I think they get to the second game. And they win that game, and then I think UCLA gets to the Sweet 16.
So you got Ole Miss?
Ole Miss, yeah. I like this Gonzaga team, but I just love Coach Yo. I think this team loves to play defense. They have one of the toughest schedules in the SEC.
Yeah.
And yet what
I'll be honest with you, John. I would not be surprised if Coach Yo gets Ole Miss to the Sweet 16 here.
I wouldn't be shocked if she got them to the Elite Eight.
Yeah.
But you're probably going to have to get through.
I don't know if she's going to beat UCLA.
No, I mean, she's probably not. But then you got Minnesota here, which I thought was the Kentucky thing where Kentucky should have, had the host, but Minnesota gets to host it. This is their first trip since 18, Brad.
Yeah, and they get to host.
And they get to host a tournament game. How lucky is that? So give me Ole Miss in the second game. I think they beat Minnesota. Minnesota's a fun team to watch. I just think the pressure that Ole Miss brings with their guards.
I think that's actually going to be an intriguing matchup if it happens with UCLA and Ole Miss, to be honest with you.
It'll be a fun game to watch, especially at the guard play.
Yeah. All right, the bottom half of this bracket has Baylor and a play-in game between Nebraska and Richmond.
Yeah, Baylor, they have the third longest March Madness streak. And a lot of that started with Kim Mulkey.
Yeah, it did.
It's just
she won 3 titles there, by the way.
She did. It's been 7 years, I think, since they won a title. So, and I think they got a good team this year. I do. And I think the Nebraska-Richmond game is going to be fun in the playing game. Nebraska's fun to watch. But I think Baylor gets there. And then the whole Duke story is just amazing.
They went 3-6. They finished 26-8, okay, after starting 3-6. I mean, won the ACC tournament. I mean,
21-2 to finish the year.
Yeah, 21-2. I mean, this team actually might be able to challenge for a Final Four here, and I'm saying that in the UCLA bracket.
Yep. And I got Duke going to the Sweet 16 in this one.
Yeah, I do too. Texas Tech and Villanova is the 7-10 here.
Texas Tech is a pretty good team, Brad. I watched them play a while back, a couple of weeks ago. They absolutely bullied Baylor and TCU, the games that I watched.
Yeah.
If they can find their earlier season, I think this is a team to kind of watch out for. And then you got Villanova. They're back again in the NCAA tournament. They finished second behind UConn. If everybody don't remember, they actually led UConn at halftime, I think, in one of the regular season games. So,
right,
this is a good Villanova team, but I think I'm going to pick Texas Tech. And then you got LSU, Kim Mulkey, Fajay Johnson, Malaysia Fawali. Listen,
Jada Richard.
I think this LSU team can challenge UCLA. And
I think I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I think LSU and Duke are the teams that get out to the Sweet 16 here, and I think that LSU Duke game is going to be one hell of a game.
You got Carol Lawson and Kim Mulkey.
Yeah.
Two legends.
And if it's not LSU Duke and Baylor gets there, then you got Kim Mulkey versus her old team.
Oh, wouldn't that be something?
Yeah. You possibly could have Kim Mulkey versus her old team here. Yep. So, I mean, I'm going to bring it back up the way we normally are here on the show. I did this a little bit different tonight because I took picks and I didn't want to block the whole darn screen with our big heads.
Eyes are getting heavy, man. We've been at it for a while.
Yeah, I didn't want to block the whole thing. We did this all one night this week because we're not doing a weekend show. So
there's so many games.
We got so much going on and everything, so we're not doing a weekend show.
A little birdie come flying around the corner and told me you might go to Morgantown.
Yeah, I might be doing that. Yeah, so we'll see. I got to get approved and all that good stuff. We'll see. So it's just going to be a busy weekend. So we did it all in one night this week. The Cats, real quick, the baseball team swept Alabama. I do want to put that out there. This is
I just want to
Wildcat
give a shout
weekend.
out to BG. He's a friend of ours through the content. He kept us up to date on the Batcats all weekend.
Yeah.
He was always updating.
They played Ole Miss this weekend on the road. Ole Miss lost their series this weekend, so they're 1-2 in the SEC. So on the road here, the Cats could get a series win here versus Ole Miss on the road. It would be huge for their SEC.
I would love to see this team get back to Omaha, but I'd also like to see this team be a 1 seed in the SEC tournament. I would like to see them actually have which they had some recognition with Omaha, but I would like to see them dominate SEC this year.
I mean, hosting for super regionals is definitely in play here for this team.
It is.
They have the pitching, and Tyler Bell was back on Sunday. Again, he was back the weekend before last, but had a little soreness. But he did play on Sunday and batted in a couple of runs.
If you love baseball, you need to get out to the park and watch this team. This team is really, really good.
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out here to Coach Minge and the baseball team here because they're doing great. And then one last thing before we go, spring practice started last week. I posted a bunch of pictures on our College SportsCast page throughout the week. They had 3 practices. There is no spring practices this week. Kentucky is actually on spring break, which is kind of wild to think for all these athletes that we're talking about. It's their spring break week, and they're working their butts off in practice and doing all this stuff. Now, the football team gets some time off. They will not be doing anything. But Stein's been busy. I mean, recruiting trail, everything.
And they had the quarterback, I think the Adams kid, maybe.
And the new Rock kid or whatever how you pronounce his name.
Yeah, I can't remember or have not or something. I can't remember.
Nallrock or something like that.
And then you had Garrett Nussmeier talk a little bit about Kentucky. He's a kid I'd watch.
No, Colton Nussmeier, not Garrett.
That's right, not Garrett. His brother.
Yeah,
I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking about the LSU quarterback, but his brother. He's one to watch for Kentucky. Kentucky's in the mix for a lot of good quarterbacks, Brad. Going forward.
I think Stein's definitely going to land one of them. It all depends. So some of the same schools, Auburn, a few of are recruiting these kids. So once one of the dominoes fall,
here's the thing about recruiting those kids, especially on the football side of things. If you land one of those quarterbacks, you're probably going to get some skill players because they're going to want to play in that kind of offense.
So if you're a fan, there is going to be a spring game. It's going to be at Kroger Field. It's going to be free April 18th. I just want to put that out there. Go check out the brand new offense, defense, players, everything, new coach, all around. And go check out the new Kentucky football team. I think they're going to be really fun this coming season.
I think they're going to be competitive. I've said it. They brought back some pieces. The Rodriguez. They brought back some wide receivers. I felt
it would be really fun, John, if we could fill Kroger Field for the first time, like for Stein and these players to come out on April 18th. And show everybody the passion. Show everybody the passion that Kentucky has for football.
I'm telling you, I think football is going to go, and I've said it. I know basketball is around here; it's king for a lot of people. But I feel like, to me, that football is getting ready to take off, and there's going to be some things happen behind the scenes with the recruiting that we've not seen in Lexington in quite a while.
Yeah, I agree. I just wanted to throw those in. This is Wildcat Weekly. We did kind of throw in a little combo show here tonight because we've got games galore and stuff to pay attention and go to and everything else.
I got a question for you real quick before we go. It's about March. What's your favorite week of the whole March Madness? Is it the
I actually think it's this one, to be honest. I mean,
week?
Yeah, because this is the one where you get the real Cinderella. I mean, the 14 seed that's never won a game that wins one, or the 15
or
seed
you
that
have
wins one,
or you have the 12 seed playing the 14 seed.
the 12
and
seed
it's
beats the 4 seed to get to the Sweet 16.
What was it, a couple of years ago? You had Oakland and NC State, and you had the whole Burns thing that kind of went viral. Like, there's always that one moment.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The next weekend is really fun too, because that's when the real teams step up and make it to the Final Four. So that's fun as well. But
if
I think the first weekend, as far as Cinderella, is the fun one.
Yeah, but then when your team loses, it kind of takes the air out of everything. But you still enjoy it as a college basketball fan, though. My favorite time, I know people think this is crazy, but my favorite part of March is the play-in games. And I'm going to say this about the play-in games. And I know there's a few coaches on our podcast that watch us. People don't understand some of these 16 seeds, they don't have this opportunity very often.
I still wish they would not put the 16 seats in the play-in game.
I get that, Brad, but here's my thing. With these 16 seeds, we've had some really good 16 versus 16 games the last couple of years.
I just don't like it, John. I don't like the 16 versus. Look, these little teams win their conference to get here. They don't deserve to be in the play-in games.
No, I agree with you. But I'm just saying, from a fan's aspect of it, watching these coaches after the game, they cry. There's so much emotion that comes with March that people don't understand behind the scenes when it comes to these games.
I just think that they work their tail off in these little conferences. The play-in games should be the bubble teams.
And then what happens is you lose that game and your season's done. And it feels like it's been off.
The only thing that it does for the 16 teams is it matches them up with a team that is on their level and they can get an NCAA win, which does matter. So if you're one of the smaller schools and you like it, that's fine. I understand the other side of it. I just think you work your butt off, go play one of these 16 team or one of these number 1 seeds and shock the world. I mean,
had it happen twice?
Two,
three,
yeah,
twice, I think. Virginia and Fairleigh Dickinson when they beat Purdue.
Yeah.
But what I was trying to say was about these little schools is these kids, these 16 seeds, they play so hard. Watch the games in these play-in games. They bust their guts for loose balls.
Oh, yeah.
They get after the boards. They're wanting to advance to the next game.
It's because everything is on the line, and it's been that way all season.
It's so surreal, and it makes what March is all about. And that's what I love about these players that come out and they want to compete at the highest level, and they get a chance on the big stage, Brad. They get to see Dick Vitale call one of their games. Like, most of the time, a kid don't even get that. It's their regular radio station.
And they have their own night. Tuesday and Wednesday.
They do. I mean, and it makes a big deal for kids that don't a lot of times get that exposure, and I love it for kids like that.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up. This has been a really long show. We don't really go this long most of the time, but we did a combo show here. This has been Wildcat Weekly, March Madness, and we are in week 30, season 4, to be honest with you. We are winding things down. We're going to continue on for the next, say, 6 weeks or so through the NBA draft probably. And then we'll probably take a little bit of time off after that, maybe.
Yeah, thankfully.
So we might do like a monthly show or something, for May and June or something like that.
You can't forget the transfer portal. I'll have to keep you up to date.
Yeah, that's why we're going to keep going through April for sure.
The portal's still kind of, it's already started, to be honest.
Yeah. So, all right, we're going to wrap it up. I hope you guys have a very good week. Enjoy March Madness. It's one of the best weeks of the year. I absolutely love this week. The games actually start tomorrow night with the play-in games in Dayton. So catch those.
I think it's Texas and NC State tomorrow night, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and then one of the 16 games. Yeah. So y'all enjoy the games and go Cats. This is Wildcat Weekly. We'll say that here at Wildcat Weekly. Y'all have a good week, and we will see you next week for another round where we will do the pick'ems here next week as well from the Sweet 16 to the Final Four.
Have a good night, y'all.